Welcome to Mount Mom Strong. Today we have a full body workout. We're gonna need a foam block, a TheraBand, and then I have a 10-pound and a 15-pound dumbbell. So we're gonna have something that you can press over your head, as well as something you're gonna do some goblet squats with, okay? So you can choose your weight depending on where you're at. You might wanna be heavier. Remember, you're lifting your baby. Think how heavy your baby is and kind of choose a weight for that when you're doing your goblet squats. All right, so we're just gonna get a little bit warmed up here, start with a little bit of mobility. You can use your block if you need. We're gonna go down into a deep squat. So if your heels are lifting and you need to sit on something, you can sit on your block or a ball or whatever you need. If you're feeling good here, don't worry about it, you can lose that. And then let's just do a couple breaths here, into our back, into our hips. You can let your head hang down. From a side view, I'm trying to keeping my heels on the ground. You can also put something under your heels to lift them up if they're raising up. Inhale and expand in this low back area. Exhale, just relax. Inhale, expand. Feel your pelvic floor relax. Then from here, we can press into our knees a little bit, pushing them out. And then we can add a little bit of rotation. So you're going to push into your one knee as you open up and rotate to the other side. One more to each side. Good. Exhale and stand yourself up. So we're going to go into a reverse lunge. You can hold on to something like the table or a wall. So we're going to step back, hinge at our hips, lowering down, and then we're going to come up into a calf raise. So you're going to lower yourself down, lengthen the glutes, exhale, drive that knee up. So I want you to feel weight through your midfoot, which is going to be that rising up onto your ball of your foot. We're lengthening our glutes as we come down. So I'm kind of 90 degrees at my front knee, 90 degrees at my back. My chest is over my thigh, so there's that length there. I'm going to exhale, drive up. Let's switch sides. Inhale, come down, hinge at the hips, lengthen in that glute. Exhale, up onto that toe. Inhale, you can do that little bit of rotation that we've been working on. As you come down, if that feels good. One more. Good. And then we're going to start to be thinking about some impact. So to start off, getting your body used to some impact, we're just going to start with a little bit of bouncing. So my feet aren't leaving the ground. I'm just up on my toes, bouncing. You can be nice and loose with your arms, just bouncing away with your feet together, not thinking about anything in your pelvic, not trying to hold any tension. Just breathe and bounce. If you have music on, you can just bounce to the beat of the music there. Awesome. And then you can go a little bit wider. So it's a little bit more vulnerable, and you can bounce with your feet a little bit wider. If this doesn't feel good right now, go back to your legs together. If it only feels good for 10 seconds, great. Just pause, reset, try another 10 seconds. The idea is if you're having symptoms, we want it to be no more than kind of 10% of what you usually feel. So it's okay to push and challenge yourself and feel a little bit of symptoms, but we don't want to be crazy symptomatic, but we need to challenge it. We need to let your body figure out what it needs to do to handle this impact. But bouncing, very little impact, great place to start. Good. All right, so we're going to get into the workout. Our first exercise is going to be a side lunge. So we've worked on shifting our weight. So let's do a couple hip shifts here, side to side, where I'm reaching my hips back, loading through my midfoot. So hinging, we're getting a nice little stretch, in our inner thighs. Reaching my hip up, not reaching my hip out to the side. I'm reaching my hip back, belly button to thigh. Then we're gonna make this a little bit dynamic. We're gonna step, and we're gonna use this band. As we step and pull out on the band, I want you to think about your core coming in. So we're gonna inhale here, and then exhale. From a side view, notice how my hips are going back. I'm loading through my whole foot. I have weight in my big toe, weight in my heel. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, gliding those shoulder blades together. Other side, 8 on the other side. Step and hinge. You can do it without the band if you really need to focus on that length in the glute and that hinge at the hips. Think of that hip crease coming back. 5, 4, nice work. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lose the band. We're going to go into some push-ups. So you can challenge yourself if you're at a higher countertop in previous weeks. Try to go a little bit lower, maybe even to the bench, but we're watching that. We're not arching through our back. We're not rounding, that we're keeping this stacked. So I'll go from the table today. Up on your tippy toes, we're gonna zip up that core. You can either exhale through the whole motion or you can inhale with tension, exhale as you come up. Going for 10, 3. Remember not to have the elbows super wide, kind of like an arrow out to the side, tucked in a little bit. 5 more. Nice work. It's all about that lumbopelvic stability here in the push-up. So it's that connection between your pelvis and your ribs and your spine. Last 2. And 1. Nicely done. So this time with our lunge, let's take our 10 pounds and we're gonna lunge. So we're gonna step and we're gonna reach this hand kind of over our foot. So we're getting that little bit of an internal rotation and back together. Going for 10. That's 5. Lengthening the glutes, stacking yourself over your foot. So we're loaded through our midfoot. Our foot is our foundation. So if you're lifting that big toe off the ground, we're not going to be stable. 1 more. And that's going to go up the chain, creating more instability throughout. So think about your foot. Here we go. Hinge the hips back, load through that foot. Don't reach your hand to the ground. We're reaching our hips back and my upper body follows. That rotation here, reaching towards your foot, gives you the internal hip rotation, allows you to really lengthen and use those glutes. That's the magic secret here. Lengthen those glutes. Let's do 2 more. And 1. Good, this time we're gonna go into our push-ups. If that last set felt really good and you wanna challenge yourself, you can go a little bit deeper. If I had space, my next level would be going to the arm of the chair. I don't, so I'm gonna go to the bench. So here we go. You can go a little wider with your feet to be a bit more stable. We're gonna inhale, create tension, then inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. But if you feel you need more tension, exhale all the way throughout. We're going for 10. 5 more. 4. One more. You've got this. Nice work. All right, moving on to our next exercise. We have a goblet squat with a pulse. So I'm gonna grab my heavier weight. You can choose, like, if you're having a little bit of a problem with your squat, you're not getting that bum deeper, and having your heels raised up on a couple books feels good, go for it. So there's the option to raise the heels or keep your feet on the ground here if you can get that nice deep squat. We're gonna keep some tension in our core because we're under load throughout, but we're gonna not let our back arch. We're keeping those ribs stacked over our pelvis. 10 reps. Here we go. We're gonna hinge, lower ourselves down. 3, 2, 1, and up. 3, 2, 1. 3. So a couple pulses. Driving those knees out over the toes. Five more. And again, feel your feet. Feel that there's weight evenly throughout your foot. Not all on your heels, not all on your toes. Driving those hips forward. 2 more. And last one. Good. We're going to go over into a bent over row. So I like to go in a staggered stance. It helps kind of protect the back there. So I'm going to have the weight in my right hand. My left foot is going to be in front. I'm going to hinge at my hips, support myself on my thigh. My palms are facing my body. My arm is down. I'm going to glide my shoulder in the hip socket as I rotate 90 degrees, bringing my weight towards my ribs. 1. Big exhale. 2. Going for 10. 3. And again, choose a weight that's going to be challenging enough for you. 4. 5. Long through the crown. You should feel this glute is on. 4 more. Nicely done. Other side, so a front view. I'm loaded through my right foot, staggered on my left. I'm lengthened through this glute. Back is long and flat, supported on my thigh. The more parallel you are to the ground, the more you're going against gravity, the harder it will be. So let's finish off these 8 here. 8 more. Square shoulders, don't rotate. Feel this right glute. Last 2. And 1. Good. Back into our goblet squat, so you can either raise those heels up onto something or not. 10 reps, here we go, with some pulses at the bottom. So making sure you're breathing throughout. Nice work. Halfway. Try to time it so you have an inhale on the way up. Three more. Last one. Nicely done. Back into that bent over row. You can also support yourself in this hip stance on the couch or on a bench if you feel you need that added support there. Or if you want to get a little bit more parallel to the ground and have the support you need to be more parallel to the ground to work a bit more against gravity. So your choice, hand on the knee or hand on a bench. Going for 10. Time your breath, pelvic floor and core with the lift. Awesome. Flip around to the other side. Get into that staggered stance, supported either on your thigh or a box. Gliding that shoulder blade back. Movements coming from your back, not your bicep. Timing your breath. Nicely done. All right, so we're gonna go into a split squat with some rotation with the dumbbell. So you can choose, maybe first set, start a little lighter. Second set, you can get a little bit heavier. So we're gonna hold our weight like so. And we're gonna go into our split squat. So you can have your foot up against the wall, your heel there, if that gives you a bit more stability and support. It's up to you. I'll switch legs here. And I'm gonna lower myself down and I'm gonna rotate, but now with weight. So we've done these without any weight, but now we're adding weight to it. So we're getting that internal hip rotation. The rotation's coming about the hip. I'm not cranking my spine. I see that all the time. I cringe. Rotation's coming about the hip. I'm really loading. You should feel contact with big toe. Feel contact with your heel. 3 more. We're going for 10. 2 and 1. Nicely done. Other side. 10 on this side. Get your foot in a good position. Lengthen that glute. Bend the knee. Hinge that hips. Two more. 10. Oh yeah. Shake it off. Okay, we're gonna go to a press with some rotation. So I'm using a 10. You can start with an 8, but challenge yourself. We're gonna rack this up onto our shoulders here. We're gonna plant our feet. We're gonna have our ribs stacked over our pelvis. But I'm gonna rotate this right foot. I'm gonna pivot my foot here. So I'm rotating about this hip here. So I'm gonna exhale, press up. You're gonna pretend you're pulling something down at the same time. Keeping those ribs down and stacked. So from the side, we're going for about 8. 4 more. Last one. Ribs down, strong core, good rotation. Nice work. Other side, rack it up. Pretend you're pulling a band down here. If you have the option to tie a band somewhere high and pull down, go for it. Hand near your ear there. Keeping those ribs down and feel that your weight's evenly distributed. My last one there, I felt like myself go into my heel. Let's keep our weight centered over that foot. 6. 2 more. Last one. Nicely done. We're gonna go back to those lunges so you can get a heavier weight. If you choose, you can choose to move away from the wall so you have to stabilize a little bit more. You do what you need. Here we go. 8 on each side this time. Try and go a little heavier. 1. Find my footing here. Here we go. 2. So the heavier weight, I gotta control it a bit more. There we go. 3. 4. Big exhale coming up. 5. Lengthen those glutes. Weight through that midfoot. 6. 2 more. 7. You're challenging yourself. Keep going. If you're not challenged, go to 2 more there. Awesome. All right, other side, 8 to 10. Challenge yourself. So I'm gonna find my balance, find my weight through that big toe. 1, 2. I'm struggling to keep that big toe down today. I'm really focusing on it. Lengthen that glute. 5, 3 more. 6. So from the front, my hip, knee, ankles all align. 1 more. That's it. Carry it to 10 if you need to. And then we're going to switch into our press. And then we're going to be done. So let's finish this off nice and strong. Rack up the right. Nice good weight on your left. We're going to pivot and press for 8 to 10. 7. Keeping those ribs down. This is 8 here. Keep going if you have a few more in you. If not, take a breather. Then we're gonna move over to the other side. All right, here we go. Rack it up. Pull and press, rotating over about that hip. Keeping space between your ear and your shoulder, no shrugging. 3, 2, 1. Can carry it to 10 if you wish. If you're all done there, we're just gonna stretch it out a little bit. Let's go into a child's pose. Let's stretch out those lats, stretch out the back there. Walk your hands to one side. You can tense your fingertips. Walk it further, do what feels good. Breathe into that side body, breathe into the ribs. Walk it over to the other side. You can always follow this video up with some hip mobility. You got the mobility library there. Good. Awesome. Do what you need to do if you want to get into a pigeon, figure 4, stretch it out a little bit more. But have yourself a great day. See you next time.